Greetings, Rocketeers! This is your Toy Commander. And are you guys ready for today's mission? And today's video is intended for play only.
Planet Zizzle.
Alright guys, it's time for today's fun fact about outer space with the Toy Commander.
Nice.
Alright, first of all, I have some good news and some bad news. Alright guys, our galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy, right here spinning behind me, is approximately 2.5 million light years away from our nearest galaxy, which is the Andromeda Galaxy. Now these two big giant entities are speeding toward each other at a speed of approximately 250,000 miles an hour, approaching each other. And guess what? Here's the bad news.
Oh no!
They're going to collide.
What?
These massive galaxies are going to collide, and they're going to have all kinds of explosions with stars and planets, and it's going to be a complete mess. You're probably wondering, oh no! But guess what? Here's the good news. That is not going to happen until approximately 4 billion years from now.
Hooray!
So we have some time, so don't worry. I can guarantee you that none of you guys will be around in 4 billion years. Your kids won't even be around in 4 billion years. Who knows, maybe the Earth won't even be here in 4 billion years. But that's a long time, so no worries. Okay, on to today's video. Again, we're going to be doing some digging and excavating because we have these two awesome National Geographic STEM packages here today. These are two kits. One of them is called Build Your Own Volcano. Ooh, volcanoes. That's right, and it's going to erupt right before your eyes.
Cool.
And we have over here, break open 2 geodes. We're going to find some crystals inside rocks. We're going to smash through some rocks and find some cool crystals and maybe even some gems. I don't know. We don't know what's inside these geodes, but we'll find out. There's, I think, a couple in here. So that's right, kids. These are STEM products, which means science, technology, engineering, and math. So we're also going to be learning something today and having fun doing these cool experiments. And we'll talk all about rocks and we'll talk all about volcanoes. All right, so let the fun begin. Let's go to the other table and start our building and smashing. Let's go. All right, guys, here's our 2 National Geographic STEM kits. I'm super excited because we have the volcano and we have the geodes. All right, which one do we want to do first? The volcano is going to take a little bit of time because I believe I have to build this and it has to dry, so we'll probably do this one first. And I'm super excited to smash open some geodes. So some of you guys don't know what a geode is. It's a fancy name for a rock with crystals inside. That's right, most of the geodes were formed from volcanic eruptions. The lava shoots out of the volcano, it's filled with gas, and when it cools, the air bubbles inside film a pocket or inside the rock, and inside that rock, usually like water will leak in with different minerals and form crystals inside this rock or geode. It's a pretty cool process, but it takes like millions of years for it to do it. And we're gonna crack open a couple of these bad boys today. All right, first, let's start unboxing our volcano first. All right, so on the bottom it says Collector's Corner, genuine volcanic specimens inside. On the back, it says this kit includes 1 bag of plaster, 1 eruption powder A, 1 bag of eruption powder B, 1 volcanic mold with rubber band, a wooden stick to stir, a paintbrush, 3 colors of paint, 2 volcanic specimens, and 1 learning guide with instruction. Mold, paint, and erupt a volcano. Includes everything you need for multiple eruptions, along with a full-color volcano learning guide. All right, let's take the contents out. Here's our volcanic molds. Let's just dump it out and see what else we have in here. I don't know what that is yet, but let's see. Here is a bag of eruption powder B right here. Ooh, there's our 2 volcanic specimens. There's the 3 colored paints we have to go with it. And what's this bag? Another bag of eruption powder. This must be bag A. All right, here is our plaster in here. Look at this cool bag. Whoa, look at that. That's a volcano erupting with the lava coming down. That's what we're gonna use to make our mold. All right, what else? Oh, here's the wooden stick. And we're gonna stir everything. A little paintbrush. And here are the molds with the rubber bands. We're gonna put that together in 1 second. We have some instructions, but don't forget, before we get going on these instructions, make sure you have some adult supervision. So make sure you follow all the advice for the supervising adults, safety rules, and first aid. These are all important things. And right here is the instructions to assemble the volcano. First we'll do that, we'll put that right there. But let's take a quick look at this awesome book. This is the National Geographic Build Your Own Volcano Learning Guide.
Bingo!
Look at this. What is a volcano? The structure of the earth. Plate tectonics. That's right there what causes all kinds of earthquakes. When these two giant, massive plates of crust and rock rub against each other and cause the earth to shake. The Ring of Fire. Here's a cool science fact. Volcanoes get their name from Vulcan, the Roman god of fire. Scientists who study volcanoes are sometimes called volcanologists.
Cool.
Parts of a volcano. Another cool science fact. The molten rock that spews from the volcano typically reaches from 1300 to 2200 degrees Fahrenheit. Woo, that's some hot stuff. But it cools as it exposed to the air. The temperature of lava varies depending on the kinds of chemicals that make up the magma. 3 different types of volcanoes. There's some cool stuff there. An active, dormant, and extinct volcano. The largest volcano on Earth. Cool science facts. Predicting volcanic eruptions. Actually, let's go back to this cool science fact. The largest volcano in the solar system is Olympus Mons. On Mars, it's about 375 miles across the base and rises to a height of 15 miles. This is one of the largest structures on Earth right here. The world's largest active volcano is the Mauna Loa. It's a shield volcano in Hawaii. It rises 13,679 feet above sea level, but if you measure it from the base of the ocean floor, it stands 30,000 feet. Whoa! Nearby Mauna Kai, I don't know if I'm saying these right, a dormant shield volcano stands even taller by 110 feet, measuring 33,480 feet. Whoa! Now Mount Everest is one of the tallest structures on the Earth, and this is actually taller. Based on these facts here, that must be a pretty big structure on Mars. And on the next page it says volcanic winter, the beliefs of volcanoes, geothermal energy, amazing rocks created by volcanoes, which is a geode right here. And then we have some area to make some notes. We have pumice and obsidian. That's a pretty cool guide. But first we need to get going on our volcano. Let's get this thing built. Warning, adult supervision required. All right, so let's first put our base together. We'll take this base piece and then we're gonna put together these pieces right here like this. All right, so let's put these 3 together and let's put this rubber band on it. Now it has a spot for the rubber band to sit right inside here like that. Just make sure those are lined up like that. The holes line up and the rubber band sits right in there like that. We want a nice tight seal so the plaster doesn't leak out. All right, so there we go. All right, so let's get the plaster. So what we need to do now is get some water in a throwaway container, because once we mix this plaster inside a container, the actual plaster will stick to the container, so you want to make sure it's disposable. Try not to use any of Mom's kitchen stuff because it may get destroyed. All right guys, so I have my throwaway container and my cup of water. Now, after I put together this mold, I noticed that there's some cracks here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it looks like there's some light coming through here and the actual plaster might seep out. So I took some of these paper clips and just put them on the edges here just to help seal up that crack, just so the plaster does not slip out right through there. See, we're gonna put another one right here like this. Now you don't have to do this, but I'm doing this because I don't want an extra mess. You can also use, like, I don't know, clothespins or whatever you can use, but that helps out a little bit. And then we'll put one more right over here All right, so that'll help out a little bit. It looks like the seal is a little bit better now. All right, so let's mix our plaster. Let's follow the directions first. So it says, pour 1 cup of water into the large disposable container. All right, now let's cut open our bag of plaster. This is gonna get a little bit messy, just warning you guys. Make sure you have a mat down like I have, just in case. So as you pour it in, you wanna mix. Now, this should take about 1 to 2 minutes. Pour a little bit in, mix it up. Now, it's very important that the consistency of this plaster is not too runny, because if it's too runny, it'll seep out of the molds. So if you find that when you've mixed everything, it's a little bit runny, just wait a few minutes until it gets a little bit thicker, and then you can pour it in. But timing is everything on this, because if you let it sit too long in here, then it's not going to be any good. So just keep an eye on it, and we'll be right back. So it looks like our plaster's ready because the stick is standing straight up. Now don't make the same mistake I made, guys. I poured all the water in my plaster and it was too watery, and the only way to make it less watery was to wait. But if you add just like maybe 3/4 of a cup of water and then add more water as you need it, that's the best way to do it. That way it doesn't become too watery. But this is a good consistency right now. We have a nice full volcano here, and you want to give it a tap on the sides of the plastic just so there's no air bubbles in there. But I think we're good to go. That's pretty full. Maybe give it a couple taps on the side. But first let's smooth out the bottom here. Make sure we have a nice smooth bottom so it stands. Now this would take probably 45 minutes to an hour before you can remove this. So let's put it aside right now, let it dry. Then we're gonna start smashing some geodes while that's drying. There, let's open up this and see what we have in this kit right here. All right, so here is Break Open Geodes Instructions and Learning Guide. Oh, we have some safety goggles right here. You need safety goggles because when you smash open these geodes, you're gonna get pieces flying all over the place, and you don't want to get them in your eye. And make sure you have adult supervision. All right, so right here we have some stuff. We have a magnifying glass. That's to check out the crystals. And I think this is just a stand, yeah, that you put your crystal on when you smash it open. Let's take out the magnifying. Be careful not to touch the actual magnify area because you'll have a blurry image. All right, so let's put that aside. Let's take out our 2 geodes. Now they're good size. They're about the size of maybe a golf ball. All right, some of them a little bit bigger. There's 2 right there. All right, so here are some instructions on how to crack open the geode. Always wear safety goggles when opening geodes. There are many different ways to open a geode, but no matter how you do it, be patient. If you want the geode to break into large pieces, don't just hit it as hard as you can with a hammer because it's gonna smash and go everywhere into little pieces. Because geodes are often hollow, you will usually be left with a bunch of little pieces if you do this. So over here there are 2 methods, hammer and chisel, and then the sock method. Now the sock method we're not gonna do because you put it inside of a sock and you smash it in the sock. I wanna observe the smash. So we're gonna do it right out in the open with the hammer and a chisel.
Nice.
So let's go get our hammer and chisel, and then we'll start following our instructions here. We're gonna take the flat-faced chisel and just chisel lightly around the edges until it cracks right in half. So let's go ahead and get our hammer and chisel. All right, so I have my hammer and chisel. Now these are pretty beat up hammers and chisels, but that's because they are very useful around my house. So let's go ahead. This is a wood chisel, it's not a masonry chisel. It does have a sharper edge, so it will cut through nicely. Let's start with the small one first, actually. So we're gonna hammer just lightly right in the center. Let's see, let's keep going. Actually, hold on a second, guys. I forgot to put on my safety goggles. It's a good thing it didn't smash yet. Let's put these on. What I also am going to recommend is get like an old cloth and put it down. It cushions the geode a little bit and you can get a better strike. Let's see, here we go. These are a lot harder than I thought. We're gonna have to take this on the actual cement outside where it's a lot easier. The foundation will be a little less shaky. All right, guys, so we are outside. This here is like a 2.5-inch paver, so it's pretty solid. So we should get better results outside. Now, let's give this a pretty good smash out here. We won't wreck the house now. Here we go, ready? Now, these are definitely hard. I recommend adult supervision. Let's try without the chisel. Boy, these are hard geodes. Oh, there we go. All right, look at that. That is cool. That is a really, really deep crystal in this one. We'll take these inside and get a closer look. Although we did get 4 pieces that split off on that one. Let's try the bigger one and see if it looks a little bit different inside this one. Oh, that one went chipped off a lot easier, but we still haven't reached the center yet. Let's give it another smash. Let's try just the hammer. All right, there's another piece that came off. This one is solid, but it's very hard to smash. Let's try one more right here. All right, guys, we're back inside. And here's the big geode was smashed into many pieces. This one was solid in the inside. And here's the smaller geode. Let's get a closer look because this one's really cool looking inside. As you can see right in there, there's some crystals. So I'm gonna take the magnifying glass and you guys could look right in there and see how cool that looks. Look at that, whoa. I don't know how many years it took for this crystal to actually form, but that, my friends, is really cool looking inside. There's some nice crystal in there. And here's some of the smaller pieces right here. Another one. And this big geode was just a big giant clump though. It wasn't hollow. I thought it was going to be hollow, but it is filled with, whoa, look at the shiny crystal in there. So as you can see inside our manual, right here it says the learning guide says, what are geodes? Perhaps the most fascinating of all rock formation. Geodes are typically hollow rocks in which beautiful crystals have formed. The crystals grow toward the center of the cavity over millions of years, gradually forming a glittery lining. Usually the crystals are quartz, calcite, or fluorite. But sometimes other minerals are found too. Sometimes you can get colored insides too, which is really neat. So, and on the next page it shows how the geodes are formed right there. And this here is geodes versus nodules. And right here is concretions versus septarians, different forming rocks. And these are the geode hotspots. So right here are 2 hotspots where you can find, looks like we have some in Arizona, California, Utah, Nevada, and so on. Down the bottom is how do you find the geodes? We have pyrite, which is known as fool's gold. And then right here is the quartz, what we found today. As you can see, it's very similar to that. And on the next page, it shows you druzy quartz, scepter quartz, algate, amethyst, fluorescent geodes, which I wish we had one of those, and calcite. So it's a lot of good information in that book. Now let's go back to our volcano. So it's been about 45 minutes. As you can see, it has hardened. And if you notice, the sides of the plastic are warm. And the best way to dry this now, after we take it out, you can wait 1 to 2 days before you can paint it, but we don't have that much time. So it also says another way to dry it would be to, I think, put it in the oven. Let's see, you can put it in the oven for 1 to 2 hours at 200 degrees, then let it cool, and then it'll be ready to paint. I think we're gonna go the oven route because it's a lot quicker. Let's remove the lining here and see how our volcano has come out. Hopefully it's not too early. Oh no, it looks done. Let's take off the paper clips. Oh, it just, oh, look at that. So cool. Oh, it just falls right off. It doesn't stick or anything. So that's pretty neat. We'll put our volcano. If you want to kind of shave off some of these little edges, you can do that also before you paint it. It's not too bad though. It's actually still kind of soft where you can just rub it with your hands. But you know, the cracks were fine because we did seal them up before. So it looks like we have a little bit of an issue right here, but you know, that's where the lava is going to come out. So cool. Let's let this dry and then we'll paint it. And then we're going to fill this. We're going to have it erupt everywhere. So you guys can make several volcanoes over and over again because all you need to do is reuse these and find some plaster in your local home improvement stores, and you can do this all over again, and you can use your own paints too, and you can also use baking soda and vinegar for your eruptions. If you don't have these two solutions, that will work also, but this you can do over and over. All right, so here we have the volcano. It took about 1.5 hours to 2 hours at 200 degrees in the oven. It's all dry and cooled down. I have my paints. I'm just gonna put a few little drops here. I can use the red, the brown, and then the yellow. And I'll start painting. And I'm not the best painter, but I'll do my best. Alright guys, so here is my volcano. It actually came out pretty good. You can see that the lava has various colors of red and yellow. I just mixed the colors and there's a look at it. Now this has to completely dry before we do the experiment. Otherwise they say the paint will actually run when the lava comes out. So we're gonna let this dry for a little bit. Now these are the two rocks that came with the kit. Now this here is called the pumice. So pumice is a very unusual rock. It's typically light colored because it contains high percentage of silica. It is formed when superheated lava cools very rapidly and gases inside cannot escape the lava. This process traps bubbles of carbon dioxide in the pumice, making it one of the lightest rocks on the planet. It's so light that it floats in water. So this is pumice, and I have to say it is feels like styrofoam. It's so light, and they say that this rock will float in water.
What?
Now I've never heard of a floating rock, but I'm gonna try it. We'll see what happens. We're gonna place it right in here, see if it floats. Oh, it does float. That is so weird. That's my first floating rock. That is bizarre, but that's pumice, and that floats. Now I don't know what's inside, but I think we're gonna smash this and see if there's any crystals in this one too. Now I wanted to show you guys this pumice up close, how light and airy it is. You can see all the craters in there. Now this is volcanic rock. So when it actually, when it hardened, some of the gases were trapped and created these little, pockets of air. Pretty cool, right? This is the one that floats, pumice. Okay guys, so here's the other rock. I'm just gonna smash it and just see what's inside this one. Whoa! Let's bring that inside and get a closer look. So here's a closer look what was inside that rock, and actually got some really nice crystals inside that one also. Here's a big chunk that came off, and it shattered into a bunch of little pieces, so pretty neat. All right, so here's the instructions for making the lava and how it works. Okay, so these are the two bags of the eruption contents. So what we need to do is take these two bags. It says combine them together. Eruption powder A, sodium bicarbonate, and 1 packet of eruption powder B, citric acid. So sodium bicarbonate, I believe, is just baking soda and citric acid. Mix those together and place 1 teaspoon inside the volcano, and then pour water and watch it erupt. Now, if you want a bigger eruption, it says down here to add some dish soap. So we'll do that too. We'll put a few drops of dish soap, and then we'll mix in all this stuff and then watch it explode. Alright guys, so it looks like it's pretty dry. It's not completely dry, but you know something? We have to get this experiment going. If it runs everywhere, that's okay. So I have my solutions mixed up here, but I also have some dish soap I'm gonna put in first. Alright, and then I'm gonna put a scoop of my 2 different solutions inside the middle, like that. And now we're going to pour the water and watch the eruption. Whoa! So cool! Now I put this down because it can get messy. You can pretty much rinse this off and do it over again, but that was pretty cool. So you can add more solution, see what happens. More lava. Alright guys, that does it for today with the 2 National Geographic kits, the Break Open 2 Geodes and the Build Your Own Volcano. There is our volcano, and there's our crystals we smashed earlier. So don't forget to share this video with your friends, smash that like button, and come back to Planet Zizzle to keep the missions going. This is your Toy Commander signing off, and I'll see you guys on our next mission. It's now time for me to blast off out of here.